to Weekly Reddit, and in today's episode of r/Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend we can't get a cat when we move in together? Am I the asshole for trying to set up two friends? Am I the asshole for banning my roommate's girlfriend after she kept insisting I was hitting on her? Am I the asshole for calling my brother an insecure, testicle-grabbing, chauvinist man-baby over his comments about my wife's makeup? Am I the asshole for suing my ex and her boyfriend? Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend we can't get a cat when we move in together? My boyfriend, 28M, and I, 22F, have been together for 2 years and are saving up to move in together. We both love dogs and have discussed the fact that we want a dog when we move in together. I've always had dogs at home, and I currently live with my family. My boyfriend lives with his mum and her house cat, and has always had cats at home. NB. The cat is his mum's cat, and she is planning to move away with it soon. Today, a discussion about pets came up and I said that I wouldn't want a cat for 2 reasons. Firstly, my mum is allergic, and secondly, I just don't really like cats very much. An argument ensued because my boyfriend doesn't think these are valid reasons to not want a cat. He says it'll be our house and the only consideration should be the 2 of us. He also said if we can't have a cat, then he no longer wants a dog. He calls this a compromise, but I said I think he's being spiteful because the only reason for this 180 is that I don't want a cat. I also said that it's not a compromise, it's just him cutting off his nose to spite his face because he's annoyed. I'm very close with my family and I know they'll visit a lot when I move out. We'll move probs 30 minutes from them, and I don't want to have to disinfect the house whenever my mum wants to pop over for dinner or a chat. Also, I'm the one who cleans whereas my boyfriend is not really concerned with cleaning. So I think I'd be the one disinfecting everything. Though he says he would do it, I'm not certain this would last for long and feel that I might end up having to do it most of the time. I also don't want my mum to feel guilty about coming over, knowing we'd have to disinfect the house beforehand. I'd feel awful knowing my mum felt concerned, uncomfortable about coming to visit. Not to mention, the cat would have to be locked away for the whole time. Allergy context. My mum found out she was allergic to cats when she had a severe reaction at age 9, for which she was rushed to hospital. She has avoided cats ever since and is able to tell if she goes somewhere a cat has been, as she gets itchy eyes and feels a lot of general discomfort. She hasn't had a severe reaction in a long time. She's 58 now, but I don't think it's worth the risk. She has only visited my boyfriend's house once, for dinner, and she was okay. But she stayed almost exclusively in the kitchen, with the cat locked in another room during her visit. We also disinfected every surface before she came. The issue is that my boyfriend and I can't seem to reach an agreement. We're both stubborn and strongly opinionated, and both think the other is being unreasonable. He thinks getting no pets is a compromise, but I think that's silly because he does want a dog, and if he had originally stated that he didn't, or if his mum was allergic to dogs, then I would accept that we couldn't get a dog. I told him I was going to post this here to get some second opinions, which I will be sharing with him. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for trying to set up 2 friends? So I 17 meters have a friend, 15 meters I'll be calling R, who recently came out to me as gay. Now you see has never actually been with a boy seeing as he told me he doesn't know anyone. Now I have another friend, 16 meters I'll call J, who is bi. Now they've met before briefly, and from my understanding I thought he was a prick. But first impressions aren't everything, and honestly I thought it'd be a bit of fun to set them up. So I tell her to meet me in the town as I and a few of our other friends including Jay were going to be there. And as we were hanging out I'd try and spark some kind of flirting between them, or at least conversation. Just by starting conversations on relationships, saying shit like when I said he's going to get fucked so hard by them. Referring to his predicted exam results, I said harder than So later on he tells me to stop with the jokes and shit because he clearly doesn't like him, which it wasn't that clear. He called him a prick, but he also said he tapped that. And then even later on he goes on a rant telling me never do that shit again, and it made him really uncomfortable and I'm a cunt. But I don't see the harm. And before you say the jokes were gross, we make jokes like that all the time. Like it was a bit of fun and you never know, something might have came from it. Edit. Have completely fucked letter placement. If you see shit that doesn't make sense, just assume I'm talking about the other. Am I the asshole for banning my roommate's girlfriend after she kept insisting I was hitting on her? I, 24F, am a lesbian living with my good friend, 25M. I own the apartment. I'm renting out the extra room to him. A little over a month ago, he met a girl online, and they started dating. She is now at our place constantly. I'll be honest, I've never really liked her. She was incredibly standoffish and rude to me from the beginning. I eventually learned it was because she thought I had a thing for my roommate. Even after he told her I was gay, apparently her only argument was, she doesn't look gay. A few weeks ago, we were all drinking and hanging out at our place with a few close friends. I tried to mend fences by pulling the GF aside and telling her that I really am gay, I have no interest in stealing her boyfriend, and I hope we can be friends. She seemed to take this very well, and was overly friendly with me the whole rest of the night. I thought she was just trying to make up for being so cruel at first. The next day, my roommate asked if we could talk. He said his GF feels uncomfortable around me after I drunkenly hit on her. What? I was not even remotely close to being drunk. Also, I am negatively attracted to her. Like, way less than 0. I find her insanely annoying. I tried to explain that I was trying to be nice, as I knew she didn't particularly like me. I wanted to be civil if she was going to be around often. My roommate seemed skeptical, but he ultimately took my word for it and chalked it up to a miscommunication. Fast forward a week or so, the friend group is hanging out at our place again. The GF comes over, of course. I'm cordial to her, but I try to keep my distance so another miscommunication doesn't happen. Towards the end of the night, one of our other friends comes up to me like, dude, what is going on? GF keeps telling everyone you've been checking her out and hitting on her all night. Again, I was stunned. And at this point, incredibly pissed off. I went right up to the GF in front of everyone, and said, what the hell's going on? Why are you spewing lies about me hitting on you to all my friends? She just stared at me, unable to respond. I continued, just because I'm gay does not mean I'm into you. Trust me, I am not the least bit interested in you. She started sobbing that I was attacking her for no reason, calling her out, making her super uncomfortable again, etc. I told her to get the hell out, and that she was no longer welcome here for making me feel uncomfortable in my own apartment. Her and my roommate left. Needless to say, my roommate is super pissed at me. He hasn't been back to our place since, but I've gotten some angry texts. I'm standing my ground that she's not welcome here anymore, but he is free to stay or move out as he pleases. Most of our friends are on my side. I guess I could have been easier on her, but I am just so over it. Edit. Wow. I woke up to tons of notifications. Thanks everyone, and thanks for the awards. Edit 2. I guess I should have added that where I live, the mask, stay-at-home mandates have been lifted for a while. That being said, my friends and I still choose to wear masks, and be extremely careful. We do not go out to bars, even though they are fully open. I occasionally have a few close friends over, whom I trust to also be careful. No parties. I don't get how anyone landed on that. Hope this clears things up. Am I the asshole for calling my brother an insecure, testicle-grabbing, chauvinist man-baby over his comments about my wife's makeup? That's the actual quote. I'm still pissed as hell, but maybe I went too far here. My brother and I are both late 30s. We get along fine most of the time, but my brother doesn't do well in a lot of social situations. He says things that are inappropriate, gets overly opinionated, yells a lot, etc. He just doesn't seem to understand tact or when to let things go in a casual conversation. Our wives are best friends. They talk almost every day on FaceTime. My wife is an ex-model, actress, local, and very good with makeup. She's in her mid-30s, we have 3 kids and she doesn't wear much makeup anymore, but she got some as a gift for Christmas and decided she wanted to get more. Apparently she's been buying cheap stuff and she wanted to splurge on some good shit. Anyway, she's been testing it all out over the last month, buying more here and there and doing these crazy eyeshadow things. Honestly, I don't know what I'm talking about. She looks great all the time. She's gorgeous without makeup. She's really talented with it though, and she's having a lot of fun. I tease her a little since she works from home and she's wearing pajamas, but her makeup looks like she's at a nightclub. I think it's cute and funny. My brother thinks she's doing it because she's cheating or she wants to cheat. He called me this morning to say he's concerned because he's seen her on FaceTime and he's decided she must be posting pictures or sending pics to some dude or multiple dudes. I tried to blow it off and explain that it wasn't that way, but he got more aggressive about it, so I ended up yelling at him and shouting the insecure testicle man baby thing. He's being ridiculous and needs to mind his own business. But I think I might be the asshole for blowing up and name-calling when he's probably well-intentioned. I want to add too. My mom and brother both asked, maybe other people will. No, I haven't asked my wife why she's recently starting wearing more makeup, and I'm not going to because I think asking is fucking rude. She's spending her money on stuff for her face and it's a creative hobby. I'm not going to be the dick that ruins someone's creative outlet by asking them to justify it or by insinuating there's a sinister motive behind it. It makes her happy, so I assume that's why she's doing it. Asking why is dumb and insulting in my opinion. Am I the asshole for suing my ex and her boyfriend? My ex and I divorced 3 years ago. She was cheating, but at this point I don't care about the relationship anymore. The pending lawsuit has nothing to do with her or him, but rather their actions. My ex and I have a son 13 meters that we split time with 50-50. He's a great kid that interests have changed a lot tbh, as I imagine more kids, teenagers tend to do through the years. One thing my son was heavily into at some point was Legos. He used to play with them all the time, and personally I think they're a great toy for different reasons. I used to love playing them with him, and to this day I still collect boxes that I leave unopened as a collection. Well, when my ex and I divorced, she got with someone who loved Legos more, I guess. From what I know, he loves making creations and building the sets in. I don't care. Seems cool. He does one thing I think is very weird. He uses crazy glue so the sets can't break or pieces can't be lost. It seems so weird to me. The issue is, I was out of town for all of 3 days last week for medical reasons, and my son wanted to get his PS4 so he could play it at his mom's. This isn't out of the ordinary at all, and he has a key, so he let me know he would be stopping over for it. I told him to have fun when I saw him on the entry camera. My wife's husband was with him, which was a no-no. I told him via speaker to not go in and to wait on the porch. He flinched but walked in anyway. I sent my ex a text telling her to call him and tell him he's 1 minute away from a cop call. He left my home with a bag in hand, which I didn't think much of because my son had his games too. Well, my son texted me later that evening and said he didn't know it at the time, but he's pretty sure ST took some of my sets. These are all old sets and 2 are worth big money. When I got home I confirmed the missing sets and called my ex. She had no idea, but he admired he took them, but it was so son could have the sets to complete his collection. My son doesn't even like Legos anymore and told his mom he wouldn't steal from me. My wife asked how much it would cost to replace them, and unfortunately it's more than their savings. Actually, it would take their house down payment plus more. I told them if they didn't pay in 2 weeks I was suing and pressing charges. The price in the sets makes it a felony. My ex and her husband are saving for a house which would give my son more space when he's there, but those sets were going to help pay for his education someday or a home of his own. I filed the police report and have talked to a lawyer, and we're moving forward with the suit. Everyone is calling me a joke because they are just toys, but I don't get it. They are worth real money. I'm not rich, guys. I needed those to help with my son's future. But again, taking this money does deny my son things at his mum's house. AITA here. Edit: I've been asked to add these facts. The sets have been opened which more than half their worth, and one was glued together. The damage was done already. The stolen items are King's Castle, Milk Truck, Legoland Train Carousel, and the glued one was a Star Wars Snowspeeder. Some of these are one piece of a larger set. So if you lose one of 5, you lose the value of one produced plus the value of the set as a whole. Second edit. Ex-wife and boyfriend are the same as ex-boyfriend. I'm just a bad writer. Third and final edit for this post. I know I haven't been here much, but I have read many of your comments and taken them to heart. I know my spelling is poor, guys, and I apologize for the format. Calling me names in my private message was not called for, and I am not a scalper. I enjoy buying these sets and do not intend to sell all of them, but I want my son to go to college and not worry about debt, so I want to sell the ones that I can to help. I never had the smarts for higher education, but my son is not me, and I love him and want him to do better. Around 4 p.m. I called the local state police and met at their facility. I gave them all I had and gave my statement. My son is with me starting tonight, so when I picked him up I sent him into GameStop and called his mom. I told her I had filed charges and I asked the cop to call me when everything was done so I could give him the opportunity to turn himself in. I wanted to be no better than he treated me. I'll save her reaction for a real update. BTW, can someone please tell me how to update, because I don't really understand the steps in the main notes. I told my son when we got home what I did and why. My son said that I did the right thing because he didn't want his stepdad to think it was okay to do it again, and if he didn't go to jail he'd rather be her away from him so it isn't weird.
Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up with the best content from Reddit.